And joining us now to discuss further is Patrick Heusser, Head of Trading at Crypto Finance AG. Hey there, Patrick. Welcome to the show. So Bitcoin taken off. Someone lit a match. What's going on?
Well, I think you sort of mentioned the most important headline that the market is focusing on this ETF that might come or comes soon to the market, and that was mainly, I think, really mainly the driver for the positive or bullish sentiment.
Where do you see the new resistance and support lines?
It's, well, 65,000 as the previous all-time high is definitely a level to watch. But if I look at the order books, currently it's well populated at around the 60,000 level. So a lot of people would like to sell some physical coins there. But if I look at the derivatives market, futures, for example, funding is heating up a little bit, but it's not crazy. So I think there could be further pushes just from the derivative side that might eat up the 60K resistance quite easily.
I mentioned earlier, hedge funds, leveraged funds, they're building up short positions. Is this a losing bet, or are they just hedging losses, or is there a reason to be bearish?
I don't think you should just look at the futures positions as an isolated one. I think some of the funds started to put basis positions back on. The current level of implied funding rate is roughly 10%, between 10 and 15%. So it's a nice carry trade you can put on for just a month of trade, which is not bad.
So are you bullish in your outlook for the short term? What is your short term versus long term outlook?
Short term, I still see there is more momentum to the upside. I have trouble to see some triggers that could break the bullish sentiment right now. But I also wrote a piece this morning saying if you look at Bitcoin versus altcoins, it almost looks like you need to have a long Bitcoin position. If we go further up, if the ETF gets approved, then I think altcoins will suffer. If the ETF approval doesn't come in, I believe, again, altcoins will suffer more on the downside than Bitcoin. So it's almost like you need to have Bitcoin right now.
Interesting. You mentioned a strong bullish sentiment, but there appear to be some headwinds, such as a debt ceiling crisis on the horizon, a potential default of real estate giants in China, and crypto being banned in China for trading and mining, and also, a bad jobs report over the last week that was out in the United States.
I agree. There is always the risk that traditional finance numbers deteriorate to the bad side or to the downside. But we have seen quite a bit of decoupling of the correlation over the past few days or even weeks. That even bad numbers in the US or in Europe didn't really move the Bitcoin price lower. Having said that, though, a default or a debt ceiling issue in the US or like China on the Evergrande issue, if that one turns really sour, then I believe Bitcoin cannot just run the other way. I think regulation or regulatory decisions might be even more the driver medium term for the Bitcoin price and not just macroeconomic situations.
Are there any concerns about the U.S. regulatory headwinds? So far, we're awaiting a report on stablecoins in the U.S. There seems to be a lot of oversight, a lot of talk about the destabilizing nature stablecoins could have on financial stability in the markets. I don't know if you're following any concerns about U.S. headwinds.
I do follow, especially the stablecoin situation, and I agree with you that this is one of these regulatory triggers that could be quite bearish in the short term for the cryptocurrency market if there is some real harsh regulation on stablecoins, because it is still the blood in the crypto trading ecosystem. So you do need those stablecoins to move around capital quickly, to trade or facilitate trades. But I don't believe they really want to crack it down that hard. So that's my personal opinion. So hopefully we see those regulatory things unfold rather positive to the cryptocurrency environment.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any concept or data on institutional versus retail flows right now into Bitcoin?
I mean, we're institutional brokers, so we watch our volume, but we also watch the volume we see on many of the larger exchanges. And I have to say, it still looks like this market is mainly driven by retail flow, which is okay or good for especially prop trading or market making shops. So you can sort of profit on the uninformed retail flow. I think the institutional client is still outside of the gates, waiting till regulatory clarity comes along. But then I believe that regulatory tightening will sort of drive apart the cryptocurrency community or the trading community, because some people will then definitely go into the DeFi sector because they really don't want to do all the KYC and AML stuff they have to do quite soon. And then on the other hand, the institutional money will only flow in when regulatory clarity is here.